All right, guys. So let me tell you a little story. I've been using some of these Shars carbide insert, the GTN2, I think is what they hold. Insert holders. I've been using these for years, and I recently broke two of them. I was working on a project. I don't remember exactly what I was doing, but I had to move some things around. And I'm pretty sure it was operator error. 90% of my problems are operator error, but I broke those and I needed a new parting tool. So I got on Facebook, I think it's Hobby Machinist or something like that. And I said, hey guys, what are you using I'm using a Precision Matthews 1030V here. Just a desktop lathe, nothing huge. I'm just a hobbyist, not a machinist. I think I already said that. But so I asked a bunch of people, hey, what do you use? And this one guy posted up and he said, hey, I made this thing. And it was this, essentially. And I was like, well, that's really nice, but I don't have a mill, so it'd be kind of hard for me to make that. And he's like, well, basically, it's a Winky's workshop design. It's a spring parting tool. If you're watching this video, you're probably familiar, but basically, it's got this gap in the back, a slit that's cut that allows this to flex slightly. I don't know the physics behind it. Winky's got some good videos on it. I mean, it's his design. But I wound up buying this thing. He didn't send it to me. I didn't get any. I'm not getting machinist freebies here, but it was $145, which comes with the blade itself is $30. The tool holder is another 15 or 20, I think. So you're talking $100 for Winky's time plus shipping. So shipping was $7 or $8, I think. I don't know if it shows on the label, and I got a sticker. Yeah, he doesn't show, but it's at least $8. So anyway, he suggests that you have one per revolution. So he intends this thing to be used on power crossfeed. And he suggests that you have 1 to 2 thou feed in per revolution of the chuck. And I've got real close to that. It's not exactly that. Then also he says you turn the work at 100 surface feet per minute, or slightly slower is what his instructions say. But I've been using this thing just playing around. Like here's some swarf, and the thing is just cutting through whatever. I mean, it's been great so far. The only issue, if you want to call it an issue, is that you need to make sure that your bar is tight. You want about an inch of stick out. I've got that. Just make sure that's tight, and set your height. Let's make sure we're on center here. That looks good enough. So we're going to cut some metal here. I'm just going to make this video just a demonstration as a guy who, other than Winky. This, I don't know what this is. This is just some gummy trash metal that I've got. I don't know. Surface finish is never real good. It's a real gummy metal. I don't know what it is. But we'll start there. Going maybe a little fast. There we go. Yahtzee. So I was going a little fast there. So that's obviously operator error. How hot's this going to be? But, I mean, I parted that thing off. very nicely. So that's the mystery metal. All of this is pretty much mystery metal. I've got, this is a Polish AK-47 barrel stub. It's probably 4140 or something like that. We'll part this. Let's go with the yucky end. All right. So this is 4140 most likely, something like that. So there's another really nice part. And you can, it's a little warm. This is a head bolt out of a Mopar. Let's move this a little bit. Oh, I left that in there. That's bad. This is a head bolt out of a Mopar 3.6 liter, a V6. I'm gonna stick that out there a little bit. I'm gonna use this piece for, I got a friend that has some parts he wants made. We're gonna use these head bolts for that. But these are probably what, 4140 or I think 8740. A lot of head bolts are made out of. I'm really not sure. Head bolt, no problem. And I could, let's see, this is just some standard. This is a 6160 aluminum that I don't know, it's from a project that I've got laying around. So we'll cut that. See how thin we can. I mean, here's that slice. It's probably cooled down now. I mean, that's. All right, so let's cut some aluminum. Yahtzee. All right, I gotta quit saying Yahtzee. It's not my thing. So there's the aluminum. If you're still watching this, if you see me doing something dumb, you can correct me because, again, just a hobbyist. So this is just some garbage metal that it was part of a Grizzly bandsaw. This is the blade tensioner bolt that was the previous owner destroyed and I had to replace. But I just kept it. It's a little bent. I may just have to go with it. It's not going to be. See if I can get it past the bend here. Yeah, that's good enough. You can see that I've already parted here. I was just looking to see how thin, you may be able to see that, how thin I could part. We'll do that again. We'll come in here, give it a little distance, see what happens there. So this is, again, mystery steel. I don't know 100% what it is. Get off. There you go. So overall, I haven't used a lot of cutting tools, but this is easily, thus far, my favorite. I need to buy a mill. I think I'm gonna buy a mill just so that if I ever break this, I can remake it. I mean, obviously, that's not the only reason, but that's kind of the motivation. I really need to get a mill. So, if you're in the market for something like this, I mean, as a hack in his garage, I'm really happy with it thus far. Seems to work really well. All right then, good luck.